Hello, and welcome back to another evening of Dungeons and Dragons with Dice and Mimics. What was that? Anyway,
Sorry.
so joining to be.
Game.
Ah,
Instructions.
It's
Are we
been
done?
a while. No.
are we done? Are we done?
Yeah.
May I continue,
Yes.
children?
Yeah.
So, joining me tonight, as usual, are this bunch of reprobates. As usual, we have Annette as Talia Darkfawn.
Hello, darlings.
We have Ben as both Valdizian and Urt.
Evening.
We have Steph as the scary Vienna.
Hello.
We have Reese as Blossom.
Hello.
And Aaron is back and well as Xandol.
Hi.
So, does anyone have any announcements or shout-outs or anything before I get into the recap?
I'm just checking a message from Annette, I think. What's up?
1 second.
Technical difficulties.
I just noticed something on the TikTok. Unselect the
the
thing.
green is
unselect the
showing.
thing.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
No,
Da,
I clicked the wrong
da,
button.
da,
Technical difficulties.
There we go.
Da 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 da
Not
da
all
da
is
da
important to us.
da da da.
Why is it still showing?
There we go. I think I fixed it. Yeah.
Yay. Fixed. Fine.
So-
Everything's fine. You saw nothing.
One of two announcements I may as well mention is we are live for the very first time on TikTok. It is a very janky solution because we are still awaiting our stream key. So a little bit of screen capture, a little bit of jiggery pokery to get it done. But we are actually live on YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. So yay! And then the only other announcement we have is just a big thank you to all of the services we use to put on our D&D show live stream. We use Sirenscape for fantastic music and ambience. We use D&D Beyond for character sheets, and we use Roll20 for all of our mapping. So it's just a thank you for all of those services. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do this. And that's me done.
Okay.
Cropping issues.
We were trying to do that on the down low. trying to be professional and all that. Anyway,
Professional. Wow. Okay.
hopefully,
Professional.
hopefully that can get fixed whilst I'm doing the recap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll be fine.
to pick up where we left off last time, Armatae had managed to successfully infiltrate into the divine city of Rethorpe, drawing a little attention from some of the less upstanding citizens as they did. They managed to find a Trifarian camp of resistance fighters, made their acquaintances, ended up fighting off a hidden Slard spy within their midst and killing it. And then Xandol was made their owner. They received stamps on their slave garments and on their skin to signify as such. Xandol was escorted to a nearby inn as a central point for them, and the party split. Vienna and Urt went to go to the Naveen Netters to begin an infiltration of there on the request of Vienna's mother. They then began sowing the beginnings of distrust and discord amongst the gathered drow there whilst getting a tour of said facilities. In the meantime, whilst that was happening, the rest of the party made their way back to the surface and to the warehouse district. Successfully infiltrating, they managed to locate the warehouse they had been informed of and began a quick inspection and trying to figure out how they may find a legal way in there. Unfortunately, that proved more difficult than they expected, and they spent the rest of the time just keeping up their cover and looking around the rest of that district before then returning back to Xandol at the Gloomstalker Inn to begin planning. Vienna and Urt, in the meantime, successfully found leverage amongst the Drow elite in the Naveen Netters and watched as Sargast, her cousin, fled with a lot of money. The new friend of Natar Dakan led the other elite Drow in hunting down Sargast on Vienna's behalf, and in the meantime she took a quick tour of the rest of the facility. In doing so, she ended up in the actual slave pens. She spoke to one of the torturers there and then informed them that Sargast was no longer in charge. This torturer informed them of a few less than savoury actions Sargast had taken and who had partaken of them with him, and who would likely not be happy that he was gone. And upon receiving Vienna's permission to purge the ranks, a short and bloody coup took place, with Urt probably being very scarred by this point. But that is where we ended the last session. Whilst that has been happening in the bloody market of the Naveen Netters, we return to the Gloomstalker Inn, where currently sat in one of the tatty, run-down rooms with just like a bed stuffed with straw and a small rickety desk is Xandal, Blossom, Talia, and Vadlisian, who I believe had been left to catch Xandal upon what they had seen of the warehouses and begin potentially making plans whilst waiting for more messages or information from Vienna through Urt's sending spells. What would you all like to do?
So yeah, there's at least 2 guards protecting that warehouse, and they weren't going to let us in. It seems like you have to be part of the church to get in and out. So that's a challenge if we're going to try and find out what's going on there.
Does it specify which church I have to be part of? Hopefully not the Sun one.
It's the Sun one.
Probably the Sun one. You know, it's the most dominant here. Every other religion's been pushed underground. They have no authority.
True.
We tried our best. I mean, there wasn't there a side door that we saw?
You
No.
saw
We
there
saw
were
windows.
windows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the guards going into the districts didn't give players much notice. But aside
Ones
from
guarding
that,
the doors look like they have something to prove. Real sticklers for the rules. They're not going to let us in. Not without the deacon's permission.
or a distraction.
And let's be honest, even if we get the deacon's permission, they're probably not going to let us in. They're probably going to bring the materials out to us, and then we bring them to our master.
Unless we can create a distraction.
I don't know if they're going to fall for that.
Depends how big the distraction. Sandal,
I mean, look, Vienna's out there. Do we really want to be causing a scene and potentially, endangering her? I know it's difficult to keep a low profile, but if we don't keep a low profile...
Either way, whatever plan we come up with is going to take some time to work out all the kinks.
Oh, yes.
You said that there is presence of your... Is it the underground friends you've got?
Mine, Xandal? Am I a member of the underground now? Are you tarring all rogues with the same brush?
No.
I thought we'd grown past this.
What?
Your noble
No.
is showing.
You're the one that knows more about them than I do.
I know as much as you do. You were there at the meeting too, and that's only one group of a larger organization. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull any favors with this.
True.
Here. I don't even know if they... I mean, let's face it, this whole Pelor nonsense is pretty much overtaken everything, I doubt. And the Netters as well. I'm not even sure if the Underground even has a foothold here. Let alone has the manpower to do anything. I announced us as we came in.
Well.
I'll either be approached by them or I won't. I wouldn't count on it, though.
I mean, there is another idea. I mean, somebody that Xandor might get on with very well. We bumped into yesterday. Another crazy guy that talks about powder.
Oh yeah, that guy was nuts. Wasn't he like
What?
missing a finger? He was missing a finger.
Kind of like
black
exploded
powder all over
hair
him.
and-
I don't know. Yeah, looked really frazzled.
But if we want a distraction, somebody that has a load of exploding powder might be...
I said black powder. Why did he say it was exploding?
I mean, he was missing a finger, so... Was he
Could
missing a
have cut
finger?
it off.
Have we just made
He
this
was
up?
missing a finger. Yeah.
He was missing a finger, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but like
He was missing the
we
tip
don't
of a
know.
finger.
You can lose fingers from necrosis, skin diseases, and stuff. Doesn't necessarily mean it's explosive. It probably is.
I mean, the
let's be
fact that
honest.
you said he looked frazzled, it probably is explosive in some form or other.
Maybe.
That's
I'm just
an
thinking-
interesting
Not sure from where.
avenue, yes.
Yeah, if we go and inquire and find out, what he does, and...
He was also pretty
As-
paranoid.
Yeah, but he also probably wanted to brag, but just not to us. You know what these inventing types are like? No offense, Sandal.
None
Yes, you're
taken.
right. I have no idea what you're talking about, staring directly at Xandor.
When have I bragged about anything?
He has a point. We're just teasing you, Xandor.
I'm just saying that that's another avenue that we can look at whilst we're waiting to hear back from Vienna that everything's safe, everything's fine, or everything's not, and we need to go in. So,
Yeah.
we
Of
just hope
course,
that it's not like a bloodbath where she is.
Xandor's going to begin sort of like just jotting down notes and ideas and just stuff like that from the information that he's been told.
Blossom, have you got
So-
any thoughts
Oh,
on
sorry.
what you think we should do? Any ideas? Any an outside, slightly
Not
perspective?
particularly. I could only think of sneaking into the warehouse through one of the windows, if it looked big enough.
Okay.
Risky though.
Especially when there's only light, some shadows, but very little.
And I'm still waiting to hear back from Vienna. Like, I replied to her message, but she's not replied yet, so I'm hoping everything's alright. I imagine she needs to find the opportunity to message. Or maybe Earth's run out of
Quite
spell. Oh god,
possibly.
what if she's run out of spell? What if it's really bad down there?
I know. It's...
I hope Earth's alright.
She's probably fine. She's the most lethal out of all of us.
Yeah, unintentionally though. I don't think Earth realizes how much of a badass she is.
I think spending a few days with Vienna may unleash that.
Oh god.
Just hope she's not a bad influence on her.
But a sly
Which is,
grin
I'm sure
appears
Vienna
on
will teach her
Sandal's
to be
face
a
as he
lovely,
sort of like just
stoic woman. I'm sure that she's not going to bring out any nasty traits in Earth.
a
Sounds
sly
like
grin
Earth has a
appears
backbone
on
in her body.
Sandal's face. He's sort of like, so, Alia, would you like to get
Yeah.
us some drinks? He sort of like just hands her money. Just a stupid grin on his face.
You, sir, are an asshole. And she snatches the coins out of his purse and goes down and goes and gets drinks. for
Okay.
him.
As you go down and enter back into the main bar area, again, there are that same sort of number of just like rough and tumble looking individuals sat around. They sort of glance up as you come in, but then look back down either into their drinks or like some of them are gambling, some of them are just sort of sat like eating what looks like a not very nice looking gruel. But stood behind the bar is a probably looks like middle-aged woman, gnome. Stood there, sort of dark brown auburny sort of hair pulled back in a bun, sort of one streak of like grey just starting to show through. She's got a sort of slightly tanned face, green eyes, and she looks up at you and goes, "Hello, how can I help you?"
My master would like some ale, please.
All right. How much ale? Just one?
A flagon, a jug. Sorry.
Very well. Make a performance check for me, please, Talia.
That one.
13.
13.
I never thought I'd see a dice be cocked on Roll20. But right, it doesn't look like it's between like 10 and 12, but obviously we'll go with whatever it says on there, but yeah.
This gnome woman sort of looks you up and down. There's this very faint snort. And she turns around and pulls a flagon of ale from a cask behind her. And you can see as it comes out, this is not good quality ale. You can smell like a little bit of vinegar as it comes out. And you can tell it's probably fairly watered down. But she places the flagon in front of you along with a number of wooden mugs. And as she leans in, she goes, "You might want to work on your acting. All right?" And then she leans back and goes, "That'll be 1 silver, please."
There you go.
Takes it and goes, "Good day to you."
And you. I'll take them back upstairs.
Okay.
Come through the door and put them down. It's shit, by the way, and you're an asshole. And I sit down and prostrate and sulk.
Don't speak to him that way.
Yeah, I'm your master.
And I just
Oh,
pat him on the
Xandel.
head.
And she's gonna walk up to Xandel and be like, Xandel, I don't sleep. You do. Remember that. And then she sits down.
Yeah.
Been nearly killed by a bone claw. Not scared of you.
Yeah.
I
Of all the things that are out to get me, you're the
I'm not that
least
scary.
terrifying.
No.
Val like sniggers to himself.
Yeah.
Val just sniggers to himself, and he's just like, when he gets his cloak back, he might try and pull a prank. He's not saying this out loud, he's just thinking about it. He might pull a prank and try and make himself into the Bone Claw one evening and just wake Xandel up.
Oh
Hello,
dear.
darling.
Tablets in the
You might
face.
lose your face.
I will say, by the way, Xandel, in the time they've been gone, you are probably 75% complete on the gun.
Yeah.
So this prank could go horribly wrong.
Oh, I won't be getting the cloak back anytime soon. I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Oh no, that's what I mean. If he finishes this first before you do this prank and he sleeps with it.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if that's how your character dies? Not some like big monster, you just played a prank and got shot in the face.
It's fine. I've got a bandolier of 3 diamonds on, so that if Val dies repeatedly,
I'm sure you don't have them on your person right now.
Not right
in
now,
this
but, like, any
situation,
time.
So, yeah.
yeah. So
Are you still at least wearing the? Is it the periap? No, the amulet.
I think we said we could get away with wearing the amulet.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, the periapt was okay.
Hidden.
I know it's hard to judge time because of the sun and everything else. Are we starting to feel tired as if it's been like a full day, or has it been like?
By
is it-
about this point, yeah, you are starting to feel like you came into the city what would have been what you believe to be around dawn. You probably spent a couple of hours finding the actual Triferian camp. You spent a couple of hours there. You've then spent a couple of hours scouting out the warehouse district, and it's now been probably an hour or 2 more. So yeah, it's been at least sort of 12, 13 hours since you entered the city. It's been most of a day.
So, shall we say if we don't hear anything back from Vienna and tomorrow morning, we go and potentially look at a few other avenues, get a few more
Yes,
contacts,
perhaps.
and then make a decision when we know. Because we don't want to undo what work they're doing, so we just need to.
That's why I need to hear back from them. I need to know what they've done so we don't undo it.
Say, if it's about that time that we're all getting tired, Vienna at that point will turn around to Urt and say, how much power have you got? Are you able to send a message?
I think I should.
And if you were to sleep, will your illusion drop?
The cloak's providing the illusion, so it shouldn't, but you only need to meditate. I need to sleep.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. So, The situation, we're surrounded by drow still, aren't we?
By this point, like the other drow have sort of like moved off. You finished the cult, and they've like started clearing away bodies and that sort of thing. They're mostly leaving you in your own little bubble at the moment, just assuming that you are discussing something with your aide, and no one here is anywhere near of an equal cast to you anymore. The only person who even vaguely comes near your rank and maybe technically outranks you is the priestess, because all the other higher ups have left to hunt Sargast.
But she won't leave the temple, I'm imagining. There's no living spaces, is there, that's private?
No, everything was communal, because technically drow don't need a private room. They don't need to sleep, so you don't need a bed. You don't really need to get undressed or anything. So realistically, there was no areas like that. Like, you get the feeling there's maybe like a small like private bathroom somewhere, like that's a bit more private, but obviously it's for bathing in and for ablutions. It's not really meant for sleeping in.
Trying to think how best to deal with it, really.
Well, the only person who might have some form of private quarters would probably be the priestess, but that's because she probably sleeps in the temple. She will have like a cot, or meditates in the temple.
Yeah.
She will have a cot or something in there.
Would Sargast have? I'd imagine Sargast might have had a private area.
From the tour you've been given, you've not seen anything like that.
Right.
The other thing you can sort of sense of this place is this whole place has been tunneled out of the bedrock.
Yeah.
And it's been done in such a way that it provides the minimum amount of everything that the people here need. You wonder whether Sargast was maybe penny pinching and decided, nah, we don't need privacy, we don't need luxury.
Yeah.
The more gold we make, the better, sort of thing.
I'm just trying to remember as well. If we were to leave where we are, it'd be a case of we're in the open. We'd have to leave. There's nowhere we can actually look around, so wouldn't be able to get back.
If you
to the group
walked out now, you would be there's two exits from the market. There is the entrance you came in from, which leads back into the lower district. You feel like you could probably go out there and be okay.
Yeah.
Because the lower district is meant to be like the Templar there are not unused to seeing drow walking around, because that's where the netters go to hunt. It's where they go to capture people, as well as the surrounding farmsteads around Reform. If you went back to the upper city and were seen walking around, you figure you would immediately be detained and then return to the visitors district.
Tavern that these guys are at.
The Gloomstalker Inn is in the lower city. You're in the lower.
Oh, we're in the underground.
To the tavern.
Yeah.
If
so
I
you
sent
could
her on her way and let her go, she could go back to the tavern.
Yeah, but you would need
a
decent reason for that.
I wouldn't want to send our only healer undefended by herself.
Yeah.
The other exit is the one Sargast and the elite hunters left through. Yeah, which supposedly leads outside the city walls.
Right.
So that would
you've
get
been
you
seen
out.
coming in once. It would look weird if you just suddenly.
But at the same time, you know where the Triferian tunnel is as well, if you can remember.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. They're both different exits. We wouldn't be seen coming out the same one.
Yeah.
But, okay, how much power do you have? Would you be able to send more than one message?
How many upper level spell slots does it have left above 3rd level?
2, 4th, and a 5th.
That goes. I could send 3 more messages, before I'm tapped for the day.
How tired are you?
I could go on. I'm a bit tired, but I could keep going.
Right. Send one message now to Talia or Val. Just explain what's kind of happened. Try not to be simple about it, don't glorify it. And tell them that my plan is I'm waiting for the netters to get back. I've got a plan to send them on their way. We're not hurt, but
Okay.
this may take some time. I need to wait for them to return.
You watch as she mumbles and casts the spell, and then she's going to aim this one at Talia because that's who she sent to before. Me and Vienna. Okay, not hurt. Bloody coup begun. Vienna has plan to send Drow on way, but might take time. How are you guys doing?
Wow, Vienna's been busy. She finally
Oh.
got back to me. Oh, good. There's been a coup. She's pretty much taken over down there. She's apparently waiting for some party to come back, and she's going to try to send them away, but it could take time. And then asked how we're doing. I kind of feel embarrassed to say that we only really did a scoping mission, and we've not really accomplished as much as she has, but
I
what
suppose.
should I say another time?
Because she's dealing with her family, and she's done it very effectively by the sounds of it. So
Certainly.
even if it's not the most pleasant of outcomes,
One less problem,
indeed.
as we say.
We could just. We say that we're happy to give her the time, or something along those lines, and just say that we've
You want
got
to
a
know,
bunch of avenues we
stick
can
around-
investigate without making too much noise until we hear back from her, I guess.
Hey Art, you sound like you did good. We can give you time, have other avenues to explore. Message soon?
Okay. So relays that back to you, Vienna.
Sounds like they need time too. So
Yeah. Also, don't you have to write to your mother? Otherwise, she spend scary spider people.
yes, I had thought about that. I best do that now while it's quiet. So Vienna goes around. She'll find one of the drow and say, "I need paper and a writing implement."
Oh, of course. Follow me, Mum. And he leads you to one of those two desks that you saw either side of the entrance to the temple doors.
Yeah.
And he pulls out the chair for you and helps you sit down, and then provides you with good quality, what looks to be like parchment and a quill and ink.
Pull out the scribing gem, start the report, and it says, and basically explain. So, Sargast had been claiming money. I caught him. He tried to run off, robbing all of his business. I sent the netters after him for his head, and I'll mention that Nata is it Nata Drist?
Na-
She was-
Natar Drask.
Drask, that's the one.
Yeah.
She says, Drask family have done me, has pleased me in doing this. I allowed her to proceed to collect his head. I'm now currently watching over this business, although with current knowledge of this town, I do not believe this business is... What's the word?
Viable.
Sustainable.
Viable, yeah.
Sustainable, I think.
Sustainable.
Sustainable might be a better...
Yeah.
Because obviously if he's been skimming off the side, then they know that it's profitable, so...
Yeah.
By saying it's a sustainable, that's implying Yes, you're making money, but it's not going to last, so you might as well go to an avenue that's going to last longer. Yeah.
So worked for the short term, not going to work long term.
Okay. So you send that, and about 5 minutes after sending it, you hear a voice in your head. Well done, daughter.
I knew she'd be pleased about that.
The council is pleased. Please continue to oversee things there. The Drider have been called off. For now.
Bane voice.
I'd be
Literally.
more worried if it was just like, and arriving on platform number 3.
Riders,
yeah.
mind the gap. Mind the gap, please.
So yeah, and I'll just send a little note. It's like, we'll report further when the group come back.
Okay.
So I shall await their return, and I'll just say to if you want to have a short breather, I'll guard you.
I should be okay for the moment, but I am going to need to sleep eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand. And with that, Vienna kind of turns around to her and says, I'm sorry you had to see that, but I did warn you.
Yeah. Got to admit, my eyes have been opened on a number of things today. Not sure I want to sleep.
Oh, bless.
Vienna actually gives her a pat on the head. It's like, I am
Scarred her for
sorry.
life.
Yeah. I will try, and my next plan is a bit more amenable, I hope.
Okay. I don't understand your culture, but I respect your decisions and how it works. I mean, in Goblin tribe, weakest one normally ended up as food, so at least that hasn't happened here.
With that, Vienna goes, no.
Why do I feel like there's a yet?
No.
Or no, I haven't seen anything like that before.
No.
Okay, so whilst that's been happening, back to the other group. What exactly is your plan going forward?
I think knowing that they need a bit more time, we'll probably try and find that old guy with the powder.
Okay.
At
Have
least
any of you actually drunk any of that ale, by the way, or have you just left it?
I've just stuck my nose up at it. I can tell from the smell that it's going to be shit. I don't need to consume
I think
sustenance, so I like
Xandal
to
will
make sure
take-
that it's tasty stuff.
He'll take at least a sip of it and realise it tastes god awful and probably just leaves it and be like, oh.
I mean, you
Harvest
take a
Mother, I
sip.
apologise.
You take a sip of it, and like ale's normally sort of, hoppy and a little bit bitter. This, as you take a sip, tastes more like just like moonshine watered down. This is like almost pure alcohol that's just been fermented and then watered down and just served straight. It is. You take a sip and go.
The shudder.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. They need proper harvestable crops.
Tried growing that with no sun. Well,
Too much.
yeah.
They need the moon.
They need the moon. What?
So
They
that
need
plants-
rain. Yeah.
They need rain, they need the moon. Yes, plants need rest just as much as animals.
No, I feel like I'm not hearing you. Are you saying the moon?
Yes.
They need the moon.
Nighttime.
But plants grow in
Daytime.
sunlight, not moonlight.
They need a
Right?
cycle, though,
Yes.
don't they?
Yeah,
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
not a
they
plant,
sleep.
I don't know.
Yes.
So, are we thinking rest and then in the morning go and have a bit more of a investigation explore now that we've got Xandal back?
Just concerned of us walking
Yeah.
around as slaves.
Well, we have
need to
our
look
owner
like
here
we're
now.
doing I know, but we need to look like we're actually doing something.
Don't worry, I can kick you as we walk round the street.
Going to kill you in your sleep.
You guys should all rest. You've been wandering
Enjoying
around
this.
all day.
I'm not
I'll
sleeping.
stay up for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Xander will just essentially allow everyone just to sort of like crash out for a bit and
Yep.
just work on trying to finish the rifle.
Just
Okay.
watching the door alert as much as possible until I absolutely
Yeah.
have to go inert, and then obviously I'll still be a little bit aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys take your evening and begin taking rests and watches in turn. Nothing eventful happens during your evening, and you all will complete a long rest. Meanwhile, with Vienna and Ert,
I was I'm gonna say we don't.
it's been a couple more hours since. What have you been doing during that time since you sent that report?
Vienna's kind of walking around getting a scope for the place properly. She'll probably have gone and spoken to the priestess again.
Yeah. All right. So you and Ert head back to those gorgeous white marble temple doors and enter back into the pristine white of the temple, where you can see the two drow who had been praying in there have since left,
Yeah.
and it is just the priestess in there now.
Okay. So I've got to find where my character is. Where is she?
Should be in the middle hallway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll move Ert across.
All the way over here. Hang on.
Yeah, the
Block.
priestess has moved and is now just sort of sat, like slightly, like attending to the statue, just like lighting
Yeah.
incense around like below it.
Mm.
Can I just say that Ert will burn another spell slot so she can put tongues back up because it only lasts an hour?
Yeah. Okay.
Just in case she's questioned because it's high risk area.
Yep.
Vienna will approach the priestess again and kind of bow her head.
Priestess sort of glances over her shoulder at you and goes, "So, I hear there's been changes in the market."
Yes. Have you heard about the the fights that we've just had outside?
Rather hard to miss, I'll admit.
And the bodies were brought to you?
Oh yes, they're currently in some of the wall alcoves, ready for the birthing of new children.
Good. I have concerns about the future of this holding.
She stands and turns to face you properly, smoothing out her robes as she does, and goes, "Oh?"
I know things about this city that I haven't let on.
And what things would those be, Lady Hyland?
The people here, some of them may be infected.
As you say the word infected, there is just this slightest twitch of one of her fingers. Infected how?
I find that words are twisted in this place, so I do not know the effect of saying the word, but I may have come across a creature that is infecting, and I believe this city is the center of it.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Persuasion, and again. Oh my god. Here we go.
The priestess sort of licks her lips and then goes, interesting. And what would you have myself and the others do, Lady Hyling?
I think that there's a better alternative. Not just to get the drow out of the city to protect them from the creatures, but I believe there's better prospects somewhere else.
And where would that be?
Have you ever heard of Minas Pangoli?
I've heard passing bits and pieces, rumours and tales, yes.
I was there a little while ago. When I went in, it was a very rich and proud city. When I left, it was in ruin. I won't say whether I was part of that or not.
You see a fleeting smile pass across her lips.
Casually burning cities in every town we go to.
And what business are you suggesting we could do there?
Possibilities are endless. Like I said, it was a rich city. Can raid it, take it, even have our own city above ground if we wanted.
These are interesting ideas. Have you shared any of these with the council?
Not yet. I wanted to test the water, really. You think I should?
I could lend my support to such a endeavor, but what would be in it for me?
What would you like? As far as I know, there are probably still people there.
Her eyes sort of glance past you towards Ert, and then back to you. There are a number of things that priestesses enjoy.
Don't make this start, Paddy.
I mean, what
thought
part of this town hasn't been dark as fuck, let's be honest. Oh.
Unfortunately, in your cull, you took away one of my playthings.
I see.
It would be good if they were replaced, even if temporarily. I leave the choosing to you. But if it pleases me, then my support is yours.
What's the minimum requirement?
She just sort of smiles, leans in close to you and whispers, let's just say they have to be good under the whip. And then she pulls back.
God. I suppose Lolf.
Yeah, it's Lolf.
Whip
She's
it.
evil.
Whip it
Yeah.
good.
Why
And
just,
unfortunately,
what
the
ray
whole of
sunshine she is.
the whole of Drow society is based on dominance and submission. It
Yeah.
bleeds into a lot of stuff in their society.
Kinky.
I'll see what I can do.
Very well. Until then,
When she
May
shows
the-
up with a dancer, she goes, "Now watch me whip."
Don't watch
May-
me, name it.
may Lolf watch over you, Lady Hylim. And I don't believe I've caught your aide's name.
This is Urza.
Sort of gives a little bow, and she's like keeps her head down and just like nods deferentially, and the priestess goes, Urza. Interesting. Well, if you don't mind, I must do some more cleaning and prepare the temple for the next round of prayers.
She bows her head and says, "Right, I'll leave you in peace." And we'll leave.
Okay. And as you turn to leave, as you're walking out, gives a very quiet squeak and quickly shuffles a bit faster behind you and whispers into your ear, I think she just mage hand pinched my bottom.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh god. Everyone in this town suck.
I think. Yeah, we kind of
Except for the
go
barkeep,
out and
she's
go, I'm
alright.
sorry, Urza, I think she's got a thing for you.
Just quickly scuttles along faster.
So, we need to find a drow that looks like you.
Well, she never said drow. She
No.
just said plaything.
I think it's deep down, Vienna's just like, I don't want to give her a slave.
No.
But if I can find someone who's into that shit.
Yeah. What about the I was gonna say what about the torturer, but if there's anyone in the camp, she'd have already had them, wouldn't she? So
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily, because the people don't have to do that.
Hmm.
Like, it's
I'm
not.
just thinking if anyone's gonna like whipping, it's gonna be that psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they might like
No,
to
no,
do the whipping.
She
Mm.
she said
yeah.
they have to be good under the whip.
So she wants someone submissive. Great. I hate this place.
Someone very active. Okay. Maybe if I can find someone who's into that shit. I think we're going to have to venture out into the lower grounds. I don't think we're going to find anyone here.
Okay. In all honesty, I don't think I want to sleep here anymore.
No, I fully
Don't blame
understand. So, will I have a rough idea of when the rest of the netters are going to be back?
So, it depends.
I doubt
Like,
Sargass will have got far.
Sargass wouldn't have got much of a head start, but you don't know A, what the state of the tunnel was,
No,
or B, what
they're doing to it.
what they're doing to him, how far he may have gotten. Don't know whether there was infighting amongst them, because as you were told, one of the netters was supposedly involved with Sargass.
Yeah.
So there may have been a bit of infighting, which again may have bought him a bit more time to run.
Yeah.
You're not sure. He may have had traps set up in that tunnel that
And
he
would they
didn't
even
tell
come
anyone
back
about.
with the money? Would they
Yeah.
just take
And
the
they'll
money
probably
and run?
fight over the money as well. Yeah. Okay.
You would say if they live up to their name and title, realistically they should be back within a day or two. There's no way feasibly you can see Sargast having gotten further than that on foot with the amount he was carrying.
Yeah.
They're probably enjoying the hunt more than
Yeah,
anything.
probably.
Yeah.
They're probably loving every second of it.
Yeah. And he's probably like, like running through the woods like a little bitch.
If he'd had more time and had be able to organize for things like a horse and maybe organize
was
someone
long gone.
as to cover for him, it would take longer. But in
Yeah.
this case, you don't think it should take too long. But again, there
By
are a lot
the
of
way,
factors.
Just a quick query. This black spot,
Hmm.
pillar or...
It's a pillar, yes. It is a
Right,
support
okay.
pillar.
I was just checking because I was like, it's a bit unusual to have a black...
You know, it's like, is room, wall, fog, or just the center of the room?
Yeah, no, it is unfortunately just
Just a pillar.
a pillar. It is
Yeah.
Okay.
like it's been left there on purpose, like so that it's not a
Because otherwise it would be just a box, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
well, the other thing is it's effectively guarding the temple.
Yeah.
It's not a direct shot from those doors to the
Into
temple
the temple.
doors.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
it's a typical thing in Drow society to have like pillars and cut points and choke points to stop people getting to key areas. And in this place, the most important area is the temple. That
Makes
is,
sense.
so they've put in this thing where you have to go round this thing to get to it. Whilst you're going round, reinforcements can come in.
Mm.
It's just a delaying tactic, but it's one that is impossible to avoid.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense because even like from there, even where those desks are, there's no direct line of sight.
Yeah.
Because like, no matter. Okay, maybe there's a direct line of sight, but it
Well,
would make
that's-
that would make it 3/4 cover.
Well, that's the door there in the middle. That's wall.
Oh, right, so
where you're going
they'd
through.
only be able to come through there. So yeah, so they wouldn't be able to basically. The only thing they'd be able to attack is whoever's in that doorway, but they wouldn't be able to get anyone behind that desk or there. Or, yeah, tactically it makes sense. Yeah.
Right, so there's not really much else I can do until the netters get back, so...
So are you and going to go out into the lower city, or?
Yeah,
going
I
to-
think we're going to try and go out to the lower city.
Okay.
If I can remember how to get out of this place. There we go.
So yeah, it's back up where that desk is.
Yeah.
Yeah, comes with you, and as you come out into here, you can see those drow are still like you can see one now with a mop, just like working on blood stains on the marble. And they look up at you as you're going past, and it's a female drow, and she goes, Lady Hylim, can I help you with anything?
Moment. No. How well do you know the residents on this lower city? How well have you mixed with them?
They fear us, as they should, Lady Hylim. But otherwise, occasionally we'll go to some of the inns for a drink, and we are treated with the respect and fear that we deserve. Otherwise, the only ones we really have any interaction with are normally the guards or those who are willing to sell members of their family to us.
This may be an odd request, but bear with me. In those feared moments that the people have, do you recollect anyone who might maybe enjoy that fear?
She sort of looks around and sort of licks her lips and leans in and goes, "Not necessarily, but perhaps Lady Hylim would like to go. It is slightly heretical, but the Passion Palace, where they worship the goddess Soon, could potentially be where one might find people of many persuasions and walks of life."
Good. That's a good start. And with that, Vienna's just like, I'm looking for a new plaything for Priestess of Lolth. An offering.
Oh yes. Dina did get killed, didn't she? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to avoid the priestess's temple for a bit, if you don't mind.
Good idea. And with that, Vienna kind of gives a nod of her head just to say, you've provided me with good information. Well done.
Would you like an escort, Lady Hylim?
Perhaps to show me around to the vital places, if you don't mind.
Of course not. And she quickly puts up her mop and calls down a corridor that she's going out with Lady Hylim, and then sort of walks up towards the exit with you and goes, "This one is Devar."
What, we're actually exiting the...
Yeah, she's
thing now.
walking with you and exiting out of the market with you.
Right, okay. While we're kind of walking and she's showing us round, I will kind of just chit-chat with her and go, how are you finding it here, you know?
It is interesting seeing so of many other races and people. The nobles are a pain to deal with, but they spend good coin. Other than that, it is obviously not as good as Naveen, but it is not a massive change in routine or work ethic.
Do I get a feeling that she's kind of putting on a bit of a face?
Roll an insight check.
Oh my god.
From what you can tell, she's being pretty truthful.
Okay. Good. So, yeah, she'll listen to where everything is.
She starts guiding you through the lower city, and as you walk, you do see like denizens on the streets are just like quickly moving out of your way or moving into alleyways and just trying to avoid being seen
Mhm.
in general. But as you leave, she turns right and begins leading you sort of along the wall. And she points out various places as you go past. There's just like little things like tidbits like that's a good area for setting up an ambush. That's where a lot of slaves gather, so we keep an eye on it just in case any of them aren't marked. Things she just points out little things like that, like tactical knowledge. Nothing really personal or her personal thoughts about anything. It's all like properly official, tactical, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But after about 30 minutes walk, you start coming up towards a beautiful, almost Athenian style temple. Large white pillars, a roof over the top, and you can see this whole place is like slightly open. But there are like little boxed in rooms with inside and a couple of walls and dividers here and there. And you begin to smell perfumes and oils and incense, and being a drow, you would be aware of the scent of arousal and
Yes.
pheromones.
Ugh.
There is quite a lot of that coming from this temple in front of you.
Vienna will say, I don't think I need an introduction to this place. This is where you meant, wasn't it?
Yes, this is the Passion Palace. Do you require a further escort, Lady Hylim, or shall I return to the market now?
I'll dismiss you.
Thank you kindly, and have a nice evening. And she turns and quickly scurries back towards the market. At this point, sort of waits for her to
Breathe.
get out of, waits for her to get out of eyeshot and swirls the cloak off of her and goes, ah.
And breathe. Right. Does